Hey everyone, I'm going to talk about Sonic 2 today. It kind of feels weird to talk about this game because it's such an old, short, classic game. It's still obviously very good today, but I remember this is probably maybe one of the first games I actually ever played, besides the Zelda games. Sonic to me is, I like the classic games. I like a lot of the new 3D games, but around 2010 is when I really fell off the Sonic bandwagon, and now it's ever always been in that kind of stage. But this was basically my introduction to the series, and pretty much everyone loves this game. I don't know anyone who dislikes the classic Sonic games. They're just fun. One of my favorite things about them is that, it's technically co-op. Some other, someone can do Tails and have pull Sonic around and have him go up certain places. And, even if he falls off the screen, he comes back, which is, a really smart thing for, co-op games. The game itself it's all about, it's interesting because it was, at the time, all about, padding out the game itself and making it feel longer. In Sonic games, it's like you just go as fast as you can and you beat the games as many times as you want. And it was focused on the replayability as the major aspect for its value in that sense. And it wasn't these big, open world RPGs or these, cool long stories. It was all about as much fun in a short amount of time as possible. And Sonic has gone through a lot of different variations, from, super cool to, the edgy character that, edgy for the 90s, that, he was competing with Mario as the family-friendly character. But, this is kind of where it all began. And it's interesting that, over the years, I would play this game on different intervals and realize new things about it. For example, you have these special levels where you get the Chaos Emeralds, and once you get all the Chaos Emeralds, then suddenly you unlock the real ending, or the ability to do the real ending. And I never actually figured that out until I just came across it by happenstance, especially back in the 90s when you really didn't have the internet to guide you or help you, and it was a lot of self-discovery, and you felt a lot more accomplished when that kind of thing happened. Of course, this game it hits the sweet spot of when you have to go fast, when you have to go slow. I think another thing that makes this game super, super classic is the fact that the music is just super iconic and super fun. Chemical Plant is definitely the one that is ingrained into my brain. I can already hear it as I say the words Chemical Plant. It's funny, actually. They have a Sonic Symphony that I attended a couple weeks ago. And they did an orchestral version of all these classic songs, and it's really interesting. How do you do, a theme like Chemical Plant? And what they did is they did violins for all of the high-pitched techno noises, which I think is pretty cool, and it sounded appropriate. So, the game itself, every level has 2 zones, and then an Eggman boss at the end who always has one gimmick, and it escalates and how difficult his attacks are, or what he's capable of. Honestly, I think the chemical zone was probably the hardest, because you can also fall into the liquid. And I find that, for a kid's game, and this is a staple of 90s games, is that even though they're meant more so for kids, they're really hard, and they really do push you to the limit with what it expects of you. And then, of course, the classic final boss fight with Metal Sonic, and then, the final Eggman boss. In this game, my favorite level, I would say, honestly, Chemical Plant. There's a couple other ones that are really cool, but This is kind of like no the classic experience. Again, I think it's a first grade game for beginning players because you can only really jump and go left and right, and you kind of understand the structure of the world and what it expects of you, and like you always feel like you're winning because you always at least hit the checkpoint, and you could always think, oh, I could have done better, but there's all these little hidden passageways, and it's a very fun, interesting game design that just works. I think the one area in this game though where pretty much everyone got stuck, and universally it was the Casino Night Zone when you hit that damn red and white rotating column, because when you jump on it, it actually moves up and down moderately, and you think, okay, I just need to keep jumping on this until I get to the right thing. And even as an adult, I would make that same inference. But no, the actual correct thing to do is to basically move the up and down on the control stick, or on the D-pad rather, and look up and down, which typically does nothing, but in this case will, you know, make the column move enough so that you can go underwater or underneath the area that you need to get to, which I never figured out for years until I think I saw it on a YouTube video years later or something, or somehow I figured it out, but I'm almost certain it was not by my own volition. I literally needed something else to help me figure it out. It's so funny looking back on this game though from my childhood, because today I could beat this easily in like an afternoon if that, but as a kid it would take me maybe the whole day, and it would be like a big accomplishment. God, yeah, no, it's actually funny in the in the chemical plant level during the symphony, they actually played the drowning sound when there's that one section where you slow down and you fell into the purple water, and the boxes are moving, and you have to jump super precisely over each one so that you get back to the surface so you don't drown. And they did the drowning sound effect for that section, which I thought was really good actually. Anyway, this game has a lot of really good memories for me. It's definitely a super fun classic game. I really can't recommend it enough. Sonic is, you know, in this age is super simple, super stylistic. You know, the soundtrack is great, the intro little animation is great. I really can't find, you know, fault with this kind of game. It's just so much fun. And, you know, as an adult and looking back on it and appreciating for how it did certain things, and, you know, the structure of the game itself, it's meant to be enjoyed, and it's just really, really fun, really wholesome. Anyway, guys, I think that's all I can really say about this game. It's a classic, fun, fast-paced game that, you know, it rewards you for basically blasting through and ignoring things and just trying to get to the end of the stage as fast as possible. And, you know, it's just a great experience. I can't really say much more about it. See you guys later. Bye.